Call to order the meeting of the Keystone Heights City Council. It's Monday, March 7th, 6 p.m. We will start by an invocation by Pastor James of the Keystone Heights First Assembly of God, and it'll be followed by the Pledge of Allegiance being led by Todd Beals. Please stand.
Father God, we thank you that you allow us to gather here tonight. Lord, we just pray that as we handle the business, Father God, as the business is handled, Lord, that godly wisdom is bestowed upon each and every leader. Father God, we thank you for all the blessings. Lord, we just praise you and give you all the glory and all the honor. Lord, it's for everything that we do, Lord, it's for you. God, we just thank you that, Lord, that you're going to bring peace in the midst of any situation, Father God, that you're handling, Lord, with wisdom, the business of the city. And we give you all the glory, honor, and praise for that in Jesus' name. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Ms. Rakowski, will you call roll, please?
Mayor Lake,
Here.
Vice Mayor Hart,
Here.
Councilman Bobby Brown,
Here.
Councilman Tony Brown,
Here.
Councilwoman Kelly.
Here.
You have a quorum, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. Are there any public comment cards?
I have two. First is Miss Barbara Franklin.
Ms. Franklin, for the record, will you come to the podium and just state your name and your address, please?
You want my work address or house?
House.
770 County Road 219, Melrose. Barbara Franklin.
Go ahead.
Okay, so I'd like to address all of you here as council members, and I wrote this down so that I don't do my usual, I get emotional sometimes, so I just felt like it would be a little bit better if I typed it out. So I'd like to thank all of you for what you've done in our community. I could name many things and go on forever about the things all of you have done. Basically, the public loves you, and I'm a fan of all of yours. The incidents at last council meeting that a few people were calling the mayor a bully, there's an email that is in public record starting on January 18th. This email was from Mayor Lake to the city manager, Lynn. The email is requesting information from the city manager's file, which was missing for her annual review. It was employment information. When Lynn was hired as city manager, the council changed the rules and allowed her to fill the position without a bachelor's degree under the agreement that she do specific management courses within the first year of her employment. Not only did she not do any of those, we're 18 months in and it still hasn't been done. I don't really think her not having a high school diploma has anything to do with anything. I mean, she's the one that brought it up. To me, kudos, because there's many of us could quit school, have to quit to support our families, any of those things, and then we can become anything we want. I think that's great. And that's probably something that the people in the community would like to hear, you know? But when you have guidelines that you're supposed to meet, and you are supposed to meet certain guidelines in your contract and you don't even ask for extra time, you don't even have a good excuse. Like with a lot of us here, we have professional licenses. If I don't do my continuing education every 2 years, it doesn't matter what my excuse is. My license will be suspended. And I believe you could agree with that as an attorney. Realtors, all of those things. We don't get options or choices. We have to do what we're supposed to do. So I understand that she resigned. I don't know if it was in writing or if that holds or what it is. But I do feel like a lot of comments have been made towards the mayor in reference to bullying her. If bullying is asking for the information out of her file that she was required to do during her contract, I don't find that to be bullying. I just don't. And I'll be honest, I was on some of this bandwagon stuff with some of you people against Karen. I didn't like her because of things that someone else said or things that I heard, but I'm ashamed of that because that's not the person I am. And to be honest, I don't think any of you people are that person. And then basically, lastly, Tony, I'd like to address this to you. When you resigned as, can you hear me? when you resigned as the mayor, you said that it was to focus on your business, and it was. You know, you've got to do that. But what you told me and people on this council is that you were tired of being excluded from important meetings and important functions by the city manager and the city clerk. Now, I'm asking you to put yourself back in that position and remind yourself how that made you feel. Because you people are here to work for us. I don't live in the city limits. I just have a business here. But the people voted for you guys. They didn't vote for Lynn. Lynn works for you guys. I just don't feel like you're looking at the whole picture. You're looking at something someone else has said, and you're not looking at it the way you should. That's just my opinion, and if that makes somebody mad, I'm sorry. And the last thing that I have to say is there's someone in this audience today that has been calling business owners, asking them to show up and ask for Karen's resignation. Now, to me, that isn't professional. But do you want her resignation because she asked for somebody to meet a guideline? Or do you want it because she picks up trash on the side of the road with all these organizations she works with? Or maybe you want it because she has a different opinion? Or is it that because she works for Free for Lamb to pass out food for needy? I don't know of any of you doing any of that. I do love you all, but maybe think about everything that's going on and make your own opinion about things, and don't listen to what others are saying. Because as far as I'm concerned, the things that she's done in the community is for the people. That's it. She might not agree with you, but she's here doing the same thing that you're doing for very little money. It's almost for doing it as charity, if you look at it that way. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next is Ms. Vivian Katz. I apologize, Ms. Vivian Katz James.
I'll survive. Wow. I've been doing Save Our Lakes for 13 years, okay? And what I absolutely know, is that you guys can, not do or will, but can have a tremendous impact on this entire community of Keystone, the Lake region, not the city alone. Okay? The city's what? 1,300 to 1,500 people, 500 registered voters, 300 of those vote on a good day. Okay? I had a previous mayor, and this is truth. I had a project at the district that had been studied by the district, that had been studied by outside engineering, both coming up with very positive information. And it would have been a project that would have brought Lake Brooklyn 10 feet up in elevation in 1 year, and Geneva 10 feet up in 3 years. It had not gone through permitting yet. It was at a stage of needing to be developed and looked at further. The mayor of Keystone Heights, the then mayor of Keystone Heights, and a couple of other members of Melrose, I think, went to the then new director, Hans Tansler of the Water District, and said, I'm the mayor of Keystone. I don't want this. I don't want this. It stopped. This community would have been back 10 years ago. Okay? So this is the impact that this mayor can have. It's not her job. This particular occasion, the mayor had not sought the city council's approval. She had not gone to the city manager. She was ticked off, quite frankly, because she hadn't been invited to a meeting. And she took it out on this community. Small, very small-minded. Okay, so that tells you what an impact you all can have. But the title of mayor in particular, even though the mayor position, is my understanding, is the same vote as any of you. It's a title position that is now being used to intimidate people, to do other things, to actually go to, I think, city employees and ask for work to be done and so on and so forth, and I don't want to get into that. But I am not here to ask for the mayor's resignation, okay? I'm here to support Lynn, our city manager. This mayor has basically made the life of the previous city manager difficult enough that he resigned, and he was one of the best city managers we've had, and Lynn is equal to that. Different personality, but equal to that. Very knowledgeable lady. what I see happening is, let me just read something. This is not anything that I
Your
would.
time is up, Ms. Vivian.
Excuse me. I was watching the zeros when she was talking. I will say one more thing if I may. On September 9th, from the mayor to me, she had asked me for some information about Rob Bradley before she gave him the key to the city. Okay, sometimes I'm up to my elbows in alligators doing stuff. I said, I'll get it to you. Give me a few days. So on Saturday, Thursday the 9th, she said, quote, "You said you'd deliver a timeline for Rob tonight. Are you letting Rob down?" My answer, no, just in meetings today and evening. Her response, "I will cancel Rob's key to the city without your input." That's just snarky. But again, I am here to support Lynn. She's doing a terrific job for this city, and I hope that this council will support her tonight. Thank you.
Resolutions. Ordinance 2022-594, alcohol consumption at Beach Pavilion. Is there a motion to read by short title only?
So move.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. All those in favor say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Any opposed? Seeing, no, just reading it by short title. It's not the resolution. Motion passes 5-0. Mr. Commando.
Yes, Madam Mayor. Ordinance 2022-594, an ordinance of the City of Keystone Heights, Florida, amending Chapter 9 General Regulations, Article 3, City Recreational Parks, to allow the consumption of alcohol in the pavilion, providing for conflict, providing for severability, and providing an effective date.
Okay, I will open a public hearing. Is there anyone here who wishes to speak to this item? Anyone here?
Is it about the alcohol?
Yes.
Ma'am?
Yes.
I know nobody's going to like this, but I've been here a long time, and I was part of when Tony and a bunch of us parents, people from Melrose, everywhere, got together and built that area for the children. It was, I don't even think the city paid for it, I don't know, but I know that builders came and then gave their time, did all that stuff for the children. So now we're going to try to make money off of alcohol in an area that's for the children. I'm just making it publicly known that I'm against that.
Thank you. Bring it back. Let's close the public hearing. No one else? We'll close the public hearing. Council, what's your pleasure?
I'd like to clarify what she just said. This is not for the playground. This is not for the picnic tables. It's strictly for inside that pavilion and on that day. If they come off of that, the law enforcement will be taken care of. That was one of my biggest stipulations.
Well, I didn't hear that, thank you.
Okay.
Any other discussion among council?
So we can get it on the table for discussion. I move passage.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
I have an observation and just a clarification. Under section 9-77 sub C, council, you have the sentence, city council does reserve the right to request additional security at applicant's expense. I think the intent of council would be that in the event the request was made and not complied with, that could be grounds for denial of the permit. Is that the general understanding?
Yes.
Legislative intent? Okay, thank you.
Any other questions for staff? Any other discussion? Go ahead, bring your mic down for us so they can hear you.
My concern is not how many people come to the park. I think probably serving alcohol in the pavilion could drive more people away than it would attract more people. I just don't think it's a place. If you got to have alcohol within that small room, my personal opinion is you need help. If you got to have it to have a good time. There's so much here, so many kids. I still think we've got a problem of inebriating everybody and then expecting them to come out the park exit The sidewalk gives me a problem sometimes, so I'm just against it. I'm sorry. No, I'm not going to apologize. I'm against it.
Okay. Thank you. Any other comments or discussion? This is the second reading of this particular ordinance. We've held a public hearing. We've had a chance to ask questions. Is there a motion to approve?
I think the motion
Well, I'm sorry.
is on the table.
Okay. So all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye.
Motion passes 4-1. Resolution, this has been added to your agenda since you received your agenda on Friday. So this resolution has been added. It's Resolution 2022-02, Jordan Cooper Memorial Fund July 5K Run. And again, could we ask for a motion to read by short title?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Okay, I have a first and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Seeing none, motion passes 5-0. Mr. Commando.
Yes, Madam Mayor. Resolution 2022-02, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Keystone Heights, Florida, authorizing the execution of a Florida Department of Transportation temporary road closing permit application, providing for an immediate effective date.
Any questions of staff about this resolution? This is Ms. Cooper's annual 5K run. She is doing it on a different day this year, on July 2nd? July 2nd. Yes. Did you want to come up and just make sure that there's not any questions people want to ask?
Good evening.
Thank you and welcome.
Thank you very much. I appreciate the support of the council and the city for the Freedom 5K run. This is our third annual run this year, and it's being done by a nonprofit I formed in honor of my niece, Jordan Cooper, who passed away 4 years ago. So we are an all-volunteer nonprofit organization, and we advocate anti-bullying. We also give scholarships to students at Keystone Heights High School. So we are looking to really get the word out to students this year. So if you have a way of doing that or contacts, we'd appreciate it, because we really want to make a big impact this year.
Thank you. Any questions of Ms.?
I guess let me tell you about the run. It's July 2nd. It's the same day as the parade, as well as the arts and crafts and everything with our country day. It'll be run at 8 a.m. right here from City Hall. It'll be the same route as it's been in previous years. And we also have a wheelchair division, so we're excited about that. It's the second year we'll have the wheelchair division, and we're looking for more participants for that. So
It's fantastic. Any questions of Ms. Collins? We've seen the application before. Is there a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Thank you. Is there a second? A second. Thank you. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Seeing none, motion passes 5-0.
thank you.
Thank you. We are moving on to events, a number of events coming up. We have, the first event is the Easter Sunrise Service being represented by Lake Region Kiwanis. Is there a representative from Kiwanis who wants to come up? Yes, ma'am. Ms. Hatch?
Yeah, the event is April 17th. We'll be having it down at the normal place, in hopes that all the construction will be done by then. Let's keep our fingers crossed. We start at sunrise, which is 6:30 in the morning, and then we'll be in and out. We clean up the night before and after the event. So, but this is something we've done. The Lake Region Kiwanis has done every year.
Yes.
Yeah.
Any questions of Ms. Hatch? Same normal procedures as normal?
Nothing
Okay.
new.
Is there a motion to approve the Easter Sunrise Service?
Also moved.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
We'll go with Mr. Bobby Brown. Okay. All those in favor say aye, please.
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Seeing none, motion passes 5-0. Next event, July 4th Parade, Mr. Beals.
Hi, just application was put in for the parade for Kiwanis, and we're just hoping to get that approved. That'll be again July 2nd, and it'll start at 11 o'clock.
11 o'clock. Any questions for Mr. Beals? Seeing
Come
none,
on.
is there a motion to approve?
You won't question?
It's Throw it at me.
How many cones do you need from the city this year?
All of them.
I move approval. Yeah.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Any opposed? Seeing none, motion passes 5-0. July 4th event, fireworks, Our Country Day. We gave you the money. You're going to come up for the event, Mr. Beals?
Say that again?
So at the CRA meeting, we approved releasing funds to you for that event.
Correct.
But the event application is actually in for that event, so we're discussing the fireworks.
Okay. Yeah, Fred is going to be overseeing them, but they're going to be done through another company. I'm not sure who they are, but I think they're down out of like Tampa area.
So, Madam Mayor, if I may interject, what this is an event for that entire day. Our Country Day does a series of events, the water eating contest, the baby crawl, things of that nature. Their vendor show behind City Hall. I believe that the intent of this application was to get approval for that. It did come in last minute, so I do apologize, but it's for the entire festival that day.
Okay, the entire festival. All right, any questions of Mr. Beals about the entire day? Okay, seeing none. Is there a motion to approve?
There is a question from the audience.
There is a
Uh-oh.
question.
I do have a question. Not to business, but I'd just like to clarify that if for some reason we need additional bathrooms for the 5K because we use the two public ones, there with the city, that if there's overflow because we had like 175 people last year, if it's okay if they use the porta potties that are already existing for our Country Day that are in place already. So I just want to make sure that there was no conflict.
So, Mr. Beals, you may want to take that back to Our Country Day because the 5K might bleed into the events happening in this park. So just make sure that they feel good about runners using the porta potties that Our Country Day will be ordering.
Or at least to communicate to make sure you have enough.
I'll let them
There were
know.
plenty last year, so
Yeah.
don't anticipate that there wouldn't be enough. I just want to make sure that our Country Day, is in continuity, with that, with working together with the 5K.
Yeah, I'll touch base with Fred when he gets back into town.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Is there a second? Second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank
Any
you again.
opposed? Motion passes 5-0. Okay, Mr. Beals, I think you're done. Sorry, I didn't hate to impose, I just figured you would be it, kind of, sort of. The KHHC walking tour, is there a representative from the Heritage Commission? Welcome.
Hi. I just wanted to talk about the walking tour, and we completed an application, and I wanted to, and I had, in addition, I had put in the request for council for this event, that we're not quite sure what we need from the council at this point, other than your approval, because it's going to be a walking tour, not a tour that will be inside the homes. So a lot of things that would go into coordinating going into someone's home is very different than if we're just doing an external walking tour. The purpose of the event is to bring awareness and historic knowledge of the homes in the community. And we're thinking that we will have, we want to use the pavilion. And we want to schedule this for Saturday, the day before Mother's Day, and have roses for all the mothers at the pavilion, and that be our starting point. We'll be able to hand out like little guides, similar to what we have already in the lobby of City Hall, to all the participants, and then they will be able to kind of have a self-guided tour of the homes, the historic homes. So we had thought about having some golf carts or some kind of transportation, but we haven't ironed that all out yet. So this is for May 7th. We do not have the timeline yet. We have to go and have another commission meeting to discuss that with the commission, the Heritage Commission, to talk about what times. But generally speaking, we're thinking maybe 11 to 2, somewhere in there. And a couple thoughts as far as consideration. I thought we might need some additional trash receptacles and have a way of making sure that we had, a pickup for that, as well as maybe the city marquee announcing the tour on outside. And then we wanted to be able to use the restrooms. Seems to be a theme. We anticipate less than 100 participants, but they might need, additional restrooms if they're starting at the pavilion. And then maybe some kind of traffic warning, since this is a walking tour, to kind of slow down traffic in front of City Hall and, the general beach area. So those were things I came, just some ideas. At this point, we're kind of in our infancy of coming up with the whole plan for
Well, conceptually, I
this.
think it's a fantastic idea. Do you want to come back with the application when you have all the details, or do you
Well,
want us?
I sent this, which I'm not sure was received. I sent the application, and then I said, see attached, where I had,
It's in here.
oh, you did? Oh, great. Excellent. But we don't have any more details at this point, because we haven't had a chance to meet. And Heritage Commission meets, I believe, in
27.
Okay, 27.
So before our next meeting.
Yeah.
So with that being said, I think that the scope of the Heritage Commission then is just to seek a consensus that this is an event that the council would approve of, so that they can move forward.
Right.
And then they can work individually with staff to make sure that everything's crossed, and then bring together a more complete plan at the next council.
What she
meeting.
just said.
We got this.
Since this is a city event, I would assume that the city's insurance carrier would cover the liability aspect of this, but I'm a little concerned about the golf cart.
There's gonna be some things that we'll need to vet out.
I was
of
gonna,
Right.
suggest that. As far as restrooms, I think by then, the restroom that will be
Will
done.
be completed.
Will be done, yeah.
Yeah.
So that shouldn't be
Okay.
an issue.
And anything they need cost-wise, Ms. Rakowski, does the Heritage Commission have a budget?
They have a budget of $1,500.
So you could do whatever you need to
Which,
do.
okay, which is another thing that we were going to discuss at some point, and maybe it's better to come back at another time, because we do need to increase our budget for all the things that we have planned to bring a focus to the city.
So with that being said, that'll be conversations that staff will have with the Heritage Commission in order to bring that forward, and what their budget would be, as it is out of general fund, at the next council meeting, and then they can approve the entire event.
Right.
then.
So
But-
it's my understanding, since I'm just new back on the Heritage Commission, that we are not getting a rollover.
That's correct.
And so that's something else that probably needs to be looked at.
And I believe that once the Heritage Commission kind of vets through those conversations within your meeting, then you
Right.
bring that back to the council.
Okay, great. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So conceptually, we're in agreement, yes, this is a good thing?
That's a good thing.
Okay. So we are now on item 4, the consent agenda, which includes the financials of January 2022, the payables of January 2022, and the minutes from the February meeting. Is there a motion to move all 3 of those items?
So move.
Is there a second? Second. Thank you. All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Seeing none, motion passes 5-0. We are on old business. Old business includes the interlocal agreement, KHES road barricades. Ms. Rakowski, you have any update on that?
I have spoke with Chief Wagner. He has requested additional enforcement from the school district police department to be on site. It's my understanding that in conversations with both Ms. Wagner, or Mr. Wagner and Mr. Harvin, that the barricades that the city provided is a good compromise, that with the addition of the new signs. I haven't heard of any additional issues from residents or the school at this time.
So at this time, since there's nobody here speaking to that item, Is it the will of the council to remove it?
Have they requested that this be taken off the agenda permanently, or is that?
There hasn't been a request from the school district, no, sir. This was just an item that has been rolled over by council.
Since it's on the table, we'll just leave it on the table, and we don't have to do anything. We'll just wait until this work gets worked out. Would be my suggestion.
Ms. Rakowski, do you want to contact Ms. Turbeville?
I will.
Okay. We are on to committee and reports, recommendations from Budget and Finance. We have nothing. Growth Management, Vice Mayor Hart.
No report.
Keystone Heights Airport Authority, Chairman Kirkland. Welcome.
Good evening, Madam Mayor and Council. In your packet, you do have a copy of the As the Propeller Turns report. The winter months has given our staff time to rest from riding mowers and bat wings and tractors, and more time to conducting preventative maintenance on equipment. We've also received about 90% of our new equipment, which we had received through an FDOT grant in the amount of about $100,000. This time has allowed our staff to conduct a lot of heavy maintenance and cleaning on our most profitable equipment, and that would be our fuel farm. So that means we are ready for MHD Rockland to fire up the P3s and start buying a lot more jet fuel. The airport has been making improvements on an old maintenance building, so we use that building to host our annual Air Ops events with wounded veterans that come out, and we have 2 events per year for them. And also we have fly-ins and other tenant events that utilize that space. Once the improvements are completed, we're going to be naming the facility as Wayne's Retreat in memory of Wayne Wynn and his dedicated years serving on the Airport Authority. So once we get that done, we'll invite everybody out to see all of the progress that's been made. February, we were busy with everything from military jumps and ground training to airport inspections, airport economic impact studies, filming for marketing videos, as well as 2 days in Tallahassee for Clay Day. Ms. Searcy has met with both Clay and Bradford County Emergency Management Directors to conduct facility and airport emergency training in April. The training is focused on familiarization of the airfield activity, access to the airfield through multiple gates that we have, airport tenants, and our level of risks. We will have 6 classes scheduled to cover all shifts from both first responders and law enforcement. The airport's professional general planning and engineering consulting service, RFQ, was advertised in December, and submittals were received February 10th of 2022. The review committee met and completed score sheets, and based on those score results and recommendations from the committee, the Keystone Heights Airport Authority Board made a motion to accept the AECOM proposal and move forward with another 5-year contract. Our Air Ops Spring Gobbler Hunt for our wounded warriors and veterans is scheduled for March 25th through the 27th. And just a point of information, if you tried to tune in to our meeting this month, we lost our audio cable, found out from our IT guy that came and fixed it. It was a defective cable, so now that audio is fixed. So in future meetings, we should have audio and video, knock on wood, and the technical gremlins don't attack us. That's all I have.
Thank you.
All right.
Planning and Zoning, Ms. Rakowski?
I have nothing to report this month. We do have a planning and zoning meeting scheduled for 3 p.m. April 4th. We do have a heavy agenda where we will be discussing Country Meadows, the gas station, Popeyes, and that is everything.
So did you get an application for P&Z from Dylan Bennett?
Yes, and council appointed him.
Okay. He indicated that he had not been notified.
He was contacted last week.
Okay, perfect. It's so nice to see a new name next to the Heritage Commission. Ms. Nina Rodenroth, do you want to come up and give us a report?
Good evening.
Good evening.
I'm Nina Rodenroth. I'm the current chairman for the Keystone Heights Heritage Commission. I've just joined us in this role as of January of 2022. And besides the routine projects that we support, along with plaquing homes, getting them assistance with education, knowledge, et cetera, that's one of our roles, to get more homes plaqued in the area. But in addition to that, I decided we needed to be a little more active in the community for this year. So the first event, as Deidre has nicely discussed with you, is the walking tour that's going to be held in conjunction with Mother's Day weekend. And we really wanted to make that a little bigger event than just handing a brochure and say, you're on your merry way. So the Rose is an idea that we're going to do, maybe potentially a Mother's Day dessert, potentially add food truck. You know, this is all concept at this point until we iron out a few more details, specifically the timeline, which we will share with you when we know that. So that's the first event, May 7th. The next event is going to be the Keystone Heights Historic Home Plaque Workshop that will be hosted by Vichy Gehrig, who is the Clay County Archives Director. We're doing this on September 17th, on that Saturday, at the Pavilion. The goal is to invite, I'm hoping to have at least 50 attendees, possibly, which would mean 25 homes, potentially, that qualify for a plaque. The idea is to bring these homeowners in to educate them on really what the plaquing process is all about. A lot of times there's a lot of misunderstanding, misconception of what the idea is. Additionally, I might include some vendors in the area who can provide those services to them if they can't do certain things within their homes. We're still ironing out those details. But the idea is to bring them together with community fellowship, and I'd like to even make it like a brunch, potentially, for those specific homeowners. My approach is going to be that they are considered our VIP homeowners in the area, to make them feel a little more special than normal, and that this is a privilege to be invited to this event, and hope that we're going to get them included and to add plaquing to their homes in the area. The next event is going to be in the fall, so this will go into the next year's budget, October and beyond. It's called the Kids of Keystone Field Trip. The idea was to educate our kids more about Keystone's history. We have an opportunity to do that in such a small area, community as we have. This year, we have decided to select fifth graders. And already, Carrie Collins is our lead on that project, has reached out to the principal and to the fifth grade lead. We haven't identified a date yet, but the idea is to bring the kids over to the park and do like a sack lunch and a very brief history lesson that's appropriate for their age group. And make it kind of a feeling like, wow, I didn't know that. And, they walk away learning something new about Keystone Heights. I always feel if we really make a difference with one child, it might be that one kid that says, don't vandalize the bathrooms at the park. So we're going to start with fifth graders this year, and we're going to make it even bigger next year. It would be a goal to branch out possibly into the high school. We just have to kind of learn our way around right now with that. Another project is going to be during the holidays. We're looking at doing a Heritage Christmas workshop for the Christmas wreaths. They would be designed around the heritage concept back in the era of the 20s and 30s, using a lot of natural materials. Design is one of my hobbies, and so I have a lot of great ideas along with our team within our commission on some ideas that we're already talking about. Our first year would be to provide these to the business owners. And we will do some kind of the key emblem, our nice little logo there to be included within the wreath, but approach the business owners and ask, can we hang that on their door for the holidays? Before our next meeting, I will identify who those businesses are, which will probably start right at city limits coming towards south, just maybe to pass to the pavilion. But again, we have those strip stores and stuff like that along the way that I would like to see them have that wreath. It might be as many as 30. So again, ironing out the details and the budget to do that. So right now, that's the 4 projects for this year. I'm already looking at next year for 2023. So I'm going to ask you all, what do we have to do to ask for, say, another $1,000 to be added to our $1,500? Next year, I want to do potentially 6 projects. And I don't want us to feel like we have to tiptoe around a few dollars here, a few dollars there, that to me will make a much bigger difference if this is something that you all feel is of value to our city.
Excellent. I love all of it.
Good.
I
Thank
think
you.
it's a great report. Thank you for reporting out. And I think Budget and Finance, we'll talk about the money in Budget and Finance when we start that process.
Okay.
And we will look at allocating more money.
I'd like to add to the mayor, one of the biggest things I've always, growing up here and seeing that the youth today don't have a clue what took place in this town in the 20s.
Right.
Mr. Wiggins with the water company and the electric company and stuff like that. That really excites me that you're going to include the kids in something like that. The Wreath, I think we did that several years ago.
Yeah,
That was
Deidre told me.
Deidre, that was a big thing.
Yeah.
You know, that's a good idea.
And next year, I mean, I think we might branch it out to the city who wants to come and make their own wreath for their own home. So I have a bunch of ideas I think that we can do beyond, but I really want to test the water and see how it goes.
The water's warm.
Good.
One other question is, you're talking homes. How about like the locker room, the old Mallard's store?
They
and
will
then
be
the
included,
carpet?
yes.
They are included?
They are included, yes. For the,
Okay.
you mean the workshop?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, they will be included,
Okay.
yeah.
I do
I have
a-
them on the list.
I do have an initial list if you want to take what I've already done.
Yeah.
I'm willing to share it with you, and you fill in the blanks.
Right. I'm just trying to figure out which homes are currently plaqued exactly, and then I can go from there with the other homes that I have identified and share that with the commission. So we can, again, vote on who we want to invite. Because, again, I'm making it a pretty personal experience by doing the, let's say we do a brunch. Let's say I have some vendors there who can share their knowledge on how things that they can do to help them, et cetera. So it's going to be a little different than what we've done in the past.
Perhaps have some of the homeowners that have already been plaqued come
Yes,
and mention.
they
hey,
could share their
it's
experience, and
Painless process, no strings attached. It's for the good of the house.
Yes.
Or the building and good of the city.
Right.
Yeah.
And we will, I'm sure I'll have a few there that would do that. Any
Awesome.
questions?
Yeah, any questions? It all
Good.
sounds good. Thank you
Okay.
so much.
Thank you.
So nothing under new business, so we move to council comments, and I just want to share a few words that I've prepared. It's now time for council member comments. We have one councilman who has requested to be on the agenda tonight, and before Mr. Brown speaks, I would like to take a moment and tell our residents how sorry I am that I allowed last month's meeting to devolve into personal issues and drama. As your elected representatives, we all come to the table to make our city a better place, and I wish as mayor that I had kept us better focused on the issues that really matter to our citizens. Regardless of our disagreements and policy differences, we all love the city of Keystone and want to do everything we can to keep it a great place to live. I hope that moving forward, we can all agree to leave the drama at the door and stop with the personal attacks. And with that, I yield the floor to Mr. Brown.
Madam Mayor, at this time, I would like to make a motion that we do not accept.
This is under council comments. It's not an actionable item.
Well, then I'll give you my opinion, okay? You made your comment, and last month was terrible. I'm gonna take these off, but I can't see nobody, okay? I've been doing this for a long time, and never have I said on the council that we've had these issues. And it's not just, the main problem that I have, and a lot of people have, is that the texting, and I never said bullying when I talked last month, if you want to call it that, but I did not. So, but there's been a lot of things going on, a lot of things I've found out since the last meeting that will not be discussed tonight. But I feel like, as a councilman, I would like to see her not leave us, give her 30 days to think about it, come back at the next meeting, and we approach it. And if I have to put it on a part of the agenda that we can vote on, so be it. But I think the comment that came from the city manager was in the heat of a very heated conversation, and I think it was done out of that situation, making her say that. But if I don't want to see, And education that was mentioned tonight, I looked up something the other day about, popular people that didn't have a high school diploma at first and did major things. And Albert Einstein was one of them. And he left high school at 15 years old. Why? Because his dad lost his job, and they had to move from where they were to another country. But that was a long time ago. But my thing is, we as a council voted, if I'm not mistaken, 5-0 for Lynn to be our city manager. I voted on the content of her work that she has done. There's so much, like the first thing at CRA tonight, she has a big part of that. There's a lot of projects that she's done and been part of, the past 2 years, and not even talking about before then. And yes, Barbara, I wanted my opportunity to say this. Yes, I had a conversation with you, and yes, I was upset with some of the things that I wasn't aware of going, in the way of work and different projects. But, in the conversation, that was my personal opinion. But the main thing was, I left because my business needed me. And I try my best to do business in Keystone for my business. And but anyhow, I don't know where this is going to go. I mean, I personally think I would like to see Lynn not resign as city manager, because we have so much going. And I've been in every part of hiring a manager. I think she's the 4th one we've had since we've started this type of government. And I've been a part of each one of them. And it's not an easy task. And my thing is, if it's not broken, don't try to fix it. So I don't know how she feels about it or how we approach this, but I personally would like to give her 30 days to consider not resigning. And if we have to, put it on the agenda.
Councilman Brown.
In regards to city manager qualifications and stuff, it's a tough one. He's been doing great work, but you got to have guidelines, rules. Qualifications that have to be met. I'm still doing a lot of thinking on this, but I don't know what to say. It just kind of bored me. Both sides. That's it.
I want to take a minute to recognize Miss Kelly. You've been a lady of grace up here in this chair. How many years of service have you shared with the city? How many years of public service?
This is my third, I don't know, this is my third time.
So I didn't want this evening to pass without saying thank you. You've been a meaningful member of this council, and we're really proud of the work you've done here. And I'll share more after. I just wanted to recognize you before I asked you if you had any comments. Do you have any comments for us tonight?
No, other than the fact I'd like for Lynn to stay. I think Lynn's been a good city manager. I would love to see her tear that resignation up.
As
Vice
far
Mayor
as
Hart?
the resignation, the purported resignation that was made, I'm a member of the Florida Bar. I'm going to give me some legal advice, and you guys can take it or leave it. But when she made the offer to resign, we did not accept it. In fact, we said no. So I think we have a clean slate right now in that regard. If there were going to be a resignation, I sort of like Mr. Brown's idea, give us 30 days, give her 30 days to reconsider it, think it over. And see where we go from there. I firmly believe that Lynn has done a tremendous job as city manager. I could care less if she didn't get out of the 3rd grade. The performance is what counts, not what sheepskin's hanging on the wall. And I think the observation about Mr. Einstein was correct, but I think he dropped out in the 3rd grade, not in high school. Karen, thank you for your comment. I really do appreciate that. I think was very constructive, is very constructive. I like that. All families have disagreements. I think we have now aired the issues. I don't think we need to air the specific issues any further. We know they're there, but we think that any situation can be rehabilitated. And for the good of the city, I think Lynn needs to stay. That's my opinion. She has to do what she has to do. But we have so many things going on that to have the city go into limbo for several months while we hire somebody new and then go through the learning curve and all that and have all the momentum that we have be lost, I think would be not in the best interest of the taxpayers and the citizens of the city. In fact, I think it would be very detrimental. We've got so much going on with the water coming in, the centennial, and all of a sudden to have things come to a screeching halt because we're losing a key person for reasons that are debatable, I suppose. But I think this has been a constructive thing. And to your comment, Bobby, if you want to have a special meeting where we sit down and talk about procedure and that sort of thing as an educational in-house type of thing, I'd be in favor of that. But I think we can get past this. I think we are past it, or at least it's in the tail behind the car and receding into the past. But Lynn, I hope you take Tony Brown's suggestion and give it some more thought. And that's all I have.
Thank you. I do want to mention, just by way of groups that I've been involved with, the Women's Club, 2 card parties, and I did not know that you would have to make that much food for card parties, but I can assure you it was intense. We did, with others in this room, goal setting with youth at Mission, which was a really interesting experience. It really brought to light the fact that many people, especially youth living in poverty, are not actually taught how to set goals. And when living in poverty, it's like you're living for today. You're just living for today. And so it was really eye-opening and rewarding to sit down with an individual and say, well, what are your hopes and dreams for the future? And so we hope to follow up with that. Answers Banquet, I'm sure some of you in this room also attended Answers Banquet. It was fantastic as usual. And then along with the Christ Church from Fleming Island, a group of us went out to High Ridge Estates and we picked up trash. And yes, we were able to make a fashion outfit out of the things that we found. And then I asked about the application for P&Z. So, any other comments? Any other comments? Seeing none, City Manager.
You have a series of events that will be coming up, starting with this Saturday, the 12th, from 10 to 2 is Bark at the Park, weather permitting. Next month, on the 13th, we have a work day scheduled with Camorras. So for Kiwanis, we will have the beach looking very, very good. They're going to come out and provide lunch, and their staff will be out here for that. The sunrise service is scheduled for the 17th. Motor Surf is the 21st, along with the Florida League of Cities, and we do have our spring fling on April 30th, so we do have a very busy month. I've spoke with the contractor. We are on track to finish our renovations of the beach by the first week of April, so everything should be good to go there. We are scheduled to pour concrete next week and then resurface the parking lot. I stated earlier that we do have a planning and zoning meeting. We've got lots of things that we've been kind of talking about for the past several months. We'll come to the zoning meeting, so we'll be working on preparation for that. And then with that being said, in regards to my education, it took me a day, but I do have it, thank you. And I'll take my 30 days to consider. That's all I have.
Mr. Commando, anything for us?
Just quickly, I wanted to congratulate the city on a very strong showing in Tallahassee for Clay Days. I know it was 3 weeks ago, but, you know, we've got a lot of things moving on, and considering how many different municipalities do come up to represent their homes in Tallahassee and speak out to legislators, I heard phenomenal comments from everybody that was able to attend, so thank you.
All right, anything else for the good of the order? Seeing none, meeting's adjourned.